Welcome. Are you struggling a little bit as you slink into the end of the school year, teacher? Are you concerned about some kids on your roster that aren't really making the mark? And you got 3 weeks left, 4 weeks left, 5 weeks left? Does this apply to you? Let me know if you're concerned about a struggling reader or several struggling readers. We're going to be talking about how you can change the narrative for these kids really quickly. I'm very excited to bring you the Spring Forward Challenge. Hey, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. Who else is here? If you don't know me, my name is Dr. Marnie Ginsberg, and I am the founder of Reading Simplified, where we streamline reading instruction and accelerate students' reading achievement. And I'm coming to you tonight to introduce and kick off the Spring Forward Challenge because many of us, thanks Tanya, get discouraged at this time of the year. It can be hard. The breaks are disappearing and the outdoors is calling you and your students' names. And you've been working and working so hard all year to get your students to be successful. Maybe you're being swept along with the science of reading movement and you're trying to make changes. But some of your kids haven't gotten there yet. Let me know if that's something that you can relate to. Yes, Jennifer, I know she's determined to serve 80 kids in intervention, but she still has some struggling students left, and she's counting down the days. That's a perfect situation for this Spring Forward Challenge. And the challenge of a challenge at this season is that you may be tired. You may not have the energy for let's go. I'm so excited. I'm going to learn something new. Yeah, someone is pointing out this time of the year sometimes makes it harder too. Exactly. So, this is how it was for me when I was a middle school teacher come April and May. It was a slog, really. Julie's got a small group that is struggling. Of course, a lot of us are. In America, we've got 67% of American fourth graders not proficient typically. So it's kind of likely that wherever you are, you have some kids that are just not hitting the mark. And testing is coming in. I'm sorry. Yes, these are all real things. It's not just that there's no more breaks left, but the testing, it's tiring. Okay. But I'm not going to dig into, and I don't want to pour more lemon on this. I just want to acknowledge that this is a challenging job. And so what we're offering with this Spring Forward Challenge is a chance for you to get little doses of inspiration and probably more importantly, immediately beneficial activities, especially if you've never tried a Reading Simplified activity before. These will really probably jumpstart some of those kids you're most concerned about. And if you're Reading Simplified experience, maybe we can give you some fine tuning and kind of some community inspiration to help you get to the next step. Okay, so that's the vision for this Spring Forward Challenge. I'm going to give you some resources, some bite-sized training, and help to rocket your kids ahead. And we're going to have a couple of live events, definitely some emails from me, but they'll be short. You'll get a little video clips, which I'll start in a second. And then we'll have prizes. Who is up for a prize? So I'm going to be selecting a comment after this live to win. We have a game where we spin to win, and then you get a goodie. So that would be something I could do like this. Let's see what the gift is today. Okay, so I'm going to pick some from among the comments today. I'm going to pick someone who makes someone's at my front door, an insightful comment or meaningful or something they learned, something powerful, I'll pick them after this live, and then they're going to win our collection of high frequency word lists. So that's fun. So, and Tanya, like almost everyone else, loves prizes. Thank you, Tanya. But that's not the only prize we're giving away today. So let me get started with how we're going to rock and roll with this thing. Okay, Spring Forward Challenge. Let's put it back up here. First of all, you need to know that you need to go to this page if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up if you've already signed up. But you need to sign up, not this page, but this page. And I'll put the link in the chat if I can. Let's see. Actually, I don't seem to be able to. Why don't I have access? Let me show you the link. It's up here, readingsimplified.com/25-day-challenge. Or if you just go to our blog, go to Reading Simplified and go to the latest blog, it's right there. So when you get into the Spring Forward Challenge, you can sign up right here in this little gray section. Give us your name, and then you'll get a PDF, which I'll show you in a second. We're going to go over that. And then if you participate with this Spring Forward Challenge, then you'll be entered to win one of these prizes. First prize is a 3-month subscription to the Reading Simplified Academy. Second prize is 5 complete sorted and guided reading packets. You're going to have an opportunity to get the assorted packet if you don't know what that is today or soon. And then, so those are prizes that we're going to draw from those among the people that comment on this blog post. You can see we did this a long time ago. We haven't done it in a while. And then this is an event where everyone can win, however. So all commenters will at least get one more sorted packet. So say you've gone to the blog. Remember, do it again. Let's go to the readingsimplified.com. Just search Reading Simplified. Then you go to the blog. Then you go to latest. And then you go to this, Spring Forward. And you then go to this gray box, which is right here. Sign up. And then in the mail, you will get what I'm about to show you. You're going to get this. So it's lesson plans, and they will fit most of your kids who are struggling to even crack the code. Now, some of you may teach 2nd grade, and even your struggling readers aren't this far behind. Don't worry, we're still going to help you modify it so it can fit you. Yes, that's the link, Tanya. Thank you so much. And Jennifer, you guys are awesome. I appreciate that. Kind of faint. Let me move this up a little bit. No, where are we? Okay, so I'm going to hide some things. This is just way too busy. Betty, you would have to go to readingsimplified.com probably to get this. You're welcome, Marnie. Okay, Nicole's already got it. Celane's got it. Sabrina's got it. Sweet. Okay, here's the big idea. You have kids that are struggling. Usually that means they haven't broken the code. And we have a couple of activities. They're really high leverage activities that do a lot of things simultaneously. And I'm going to drip them out to you little bit by bit so you can test them out and not be overwhelmed, but still see some big bang for your buck. So you notice maybe you want to start tomorrow with this first day of Switch It. That's a game I'm going to show you today. Okay? Give me a switch. The word switch, if you have tried Switch It before. But maybe it's new to you. Let me know that too, okay? So I'm going to show you Switch It. Notice then on Monday we have a list for doing this activity. That's your lesson plan. And if that's too easy, I'll show you what to do instead. Tuesday, we're going to do the same thing, except it's a different word list. And then notice what happens on Wednesday. we add one more activity. We'll add read it. And that's it for this whole week. We're just going to add 2 activities. And I'm going to send you these bits of information if you go to the website to get this lesson plan. Yeah, we got a lot of sweet. Okay, Switch It is awesome. And Elaine tried it. It was great for her students. Jennifer says Switch It is an amazing activity and the kids love it. That's huge. Okay, great. That I'm glad that some of you are doing it. How many of you haven't? Let me know if you've never tried it. If we don't have enough new people here, maybe some of you who are here and you love this activity, you should tag a colleague so that they can get this goodies and see the growth for their students as well. Okay, so that's just week 1. We're just going to add 2 activities, and I'll teach you a little bit about Switch It today. Also email you this, and then later I'll teach you a little bit about Read It. So you just, get little doses to try a new activity, and you'll get some results with the activities. So notice this is week 1. Then week 2, we add another activity, guided oral reading. And I make some suggestions of freely available text there. So we're going to just keep building. This is actually how we teach the concepts inside the Reading Simplified Academy, which is our paid membership to learn our full Reading Simplified system. We just kind of build as we go. So we do Switch It, and then later on we're going to do Read It and Guided Oral Reading. And we're getting close to a comprehensive lesson plan. So notice here in week 2, we don't add anything new until Thursday. So Monday through Wednesday, we've got the 3 things we've learned so far after a week and a half. Switch It, Read It, and Guide Oral Reading. Then on Thursday, we add in rereading for fluency. I'll show you some snippets about what makes that successful for these types of students. And the lists keep getting more challenging, or they give more letter sounds. Joanne says she loves Switch It for students. Monica will do next Monday when term 2 starts. That's perfectly fine. Make this fit your life. Deanne's doing it with not middle schoolers, preschoolers. I'm a little rusty with these Facebook Lives, sorry. Okay, so then week 3, we just continue increasing the difficulty, but the same 3-part lesson plan, rereading for fluency, a couple of word work activities, and guided oral reading. And then the 4th week, we add another core activity, Sort It. And we can drop Read It at that point and add Sort It. So this is 4 weeks of lesson plans, drip by drip, that are targeted for those kids who are really struggling, even cracking the code. Now, again, I know many of you have kids who may be struggling, but they're not at that CVC level. So what I would recommend for you, let's go back to Switch It. What I'm going to tell you is that we're going to get there. I'm going to show you today how you can just level up for those kids, okay? But first I want to tell you more about Switch It before I tell you how to change the first list. Great, Julie. Do not know Sort It. Let me show you the last page of this gift here, it's not the last page, it's the last part of the lesson planning. These are our core word work activities right here. This is the gist, not everything, but it's the gist of what a Reading Simplified teacher does to save herself time with high leverage activities. And so these include hyperlinks. So if you go here, you can snag another goodie. In fact, let me show it to you. The sorted list. This is what will come if you go to this link in your PDF. The Spring Forward Challenge, this is what you get when you sign up. And then if you choose to sign up also for Sort It, then you'll get this PDF, which is hiding on my screen. Here we go. Yep, it's very long. This is an upgraded one. If you haven't gotten ours free in a while, this is new and improved. Teaches you about the activity Build It, which I'm going to show you. And here's Sort It. We're not going to talk about it today. I just want you to know all the goodies we have for you so you don't have to think you're going to figure this out for yourself. We're going to pave the way with this activity, and it'll make sense by the time we get there. And so if you play this game with us at the Spring Forward Challenge and comment on the blog post, you will get another Sort It packet. So this is O, and it goes even further than I just showed you. And once I get my cursor in the right spot, I'll say, let's go back over here. So if you go to this blog post and then just comment with how things have gone, then you'll be entered to automatically get another sorted packet. So this is like just an unending source of opportunities to win. All you got to do is comment with how it went. And we're going to be picking from among those to pick our first and second prizes. Okay, that's a lot of logistics. Are you with me? Did you follow? Let me talk now about Switch It, and we'll watch some videos, and then that'll be it. It'll be a wrap. Okay. Lori said she's never tried it but would like to try it. Sweet. Deanne says, how do we get it? If you're talking about the lesson plans, go to this website, which has been uplinked before, and sort it. You go to the lesson planning document to the 5th page. Everybody one more time. Not that one. Let's go this one. This is your Spring Forward prize if you sign up. And once you get your prize and go to the 5th page, then there'll be another place to go and click a link to get another thing, which is the sorted packet. This is a hyperlink right there. See that? So, I think I need one more PDF. Where's my other PDF? Give me a second, team. I want to tell you about Switch It and why we would do it, okay? But I got to find all the PDFs that I wanted to show you. Okay, I found it. So many programs for kids who are struggling teach things in isolation, separate, and it works for a lot of kids. But when you still have a kid that's struggling in April or May, it may be that they just don't get how our code works. They don't get sound symbol processing, and there's just a little bit of a gap in their understanding, their aha, and some of their sub-skills. And part of that is because of the way we often teach those beginning sub-skills. Why? How many of you have a program where you would spend like 15 minutes on phonological awareness, just in the dark, so to speak, just orally only? Give me a Y if that fits you. And then later, you're going to spend 15 minutes on letter names. Maybe later, you'll spend another 10, 15 minutes on letter sounds. And then you do handwriting, and maybe you get to decoding or spelling later. But it's all stacked up above one another, adding up to a very long lesson. And sometimes the kids miss how all the pieces fit together. Nicole says yes. Haggerty does it this way? Yes. Okay. So this is very common. It's isolated, and it doesn't work for some kids. We know that our brains, readers' brains, are just trying to make the connection between their language system, which is already existing, and the print on the page. So we can do that with an activity that doesn't do all these components. Oh, there go the blocks. Sorry about that noise. I hope that wasn't too loud for your ear right next to my mic. Let's drop the isolation of 15 of this, 15 minutes of that, 15 minutes of this, etc. And we can almost replace it with an activity that does multiple things simultaneously. That's the power of Switch It. So let me show you some of the skills that you can accomplish with Switch It. In a second, here we go. So Switch It doesn't just teach concept of a word. It doesn't just teach phoneme segmentation or phonemic manipulation or the concept of the alphabetic principle, left to right tracking, letter sound knowledge, early decoding and spelling. It does all of that simultaneously. It's integrating those skills. And it's not just that it's saving you time, although it does do that. It's actually helping the kids' brains make the connections that they're otherwise not able to make. So I want to show you some examples of this with a little boy who's just starting out, and he doesn't know the code. He was in preschool, so a typical preschool teacher would have said, oh, we're going to do letter names first, and then we're going to do letter sounds, all separate, and maybe separately we'll play with sounds, like listen to the sounds around us, or identify words, or identify syllables. And they would only much later get to the phoneme level, the individual sounds and words. And they would go for weeks with this work in isolation instead of putting the pieces together, drawing on the child's language to map it to print. And so you're going to see how this 4-year-old preschooler who's never had a reading lesson goes from not knowing much, not being able to segment, by putting things together in just 5 days. And so this is going to help alleviate the problems that Sabrina's talking about. The programs I've used just take so long. Who can relate to that? Jennifer says her school curriculum spends 6 weeks on oral only phonemic awareness, even though we know that science says that's not better. That's not as good as putting the pieces together. Okay, Janice, glad you're getting a freshening up here with this Spring Forward Challenge. So let me end today. Mostly, I'll answer questions, but we'll end soon after a couple of videos. So just as a reminder, if you just joined us, we're having a Spring Forward Challenge. You can get some freebies if you check the links here. And I'm also going to be selecting a comment from this group, something that I think is moving, noteworthy, thoughtful, and then they'll get a free gift, a list of high frequency words, which are grouped by frequency. But now I want to move over to showing you Switch It in action. And remember, we saw the Switch It list, and some of you might say, oh, my kids can't even change like sat to sit. So what are you going to do about that? Well, we're going to back up and do an easier version if that's you. If you have a kid that doesn't even really know some letter sounds, then let me show you this first video. It's going to be Build It on a child's first day. And Build It's an easier version of Switch It. And then I'm going to show you his 5th day and how much he advanced in just 1 week doing a little bit of Build It and Switch It. That's all we did to show the power of putting these things together. All right, so let's watch an easier version of Switch It, a little boy doing Build It, and notice how the cues that the teacher uses, which happens to be me, draw him into being able to hear the sounds and words and map them to print. Okay, so this is an easier version of Switch It, which is our first day's activity. Watch how this 4-year-old kind of makes some progress, but he starts out slow because he doesn't really know all the pieces, but by doing the pieces together, all the sub-skills in reading, or at least for word identification, putting them together, he's starting to get on the right path.
Okay, so I just want to play some games with sounds, okay? How does that sound? A short little game. We're going to make a word. Let's make a word like...
How about my name? It's easy.
That's a good one, but I don't have all those letters. So how about we try mat, like to wipe your feet on the mat. Okay? So if I was to listen for the sound at the beginning of the word mat, what would I hear here at the beginning of mat? What do you hear at the beginning? I think you're right. Now look carefully. Which one of these is That's it. Now pull it down and say You did it. Okay. Let's try the next one. What is the sound that you hear right here when I say mat? You have What's here in the word mat? I hear ah. Do you hear ah right there?
Yeah.
Mat. You hear that ah?
Yeah.
Can you say ah?
Ah.
Okay, now think carefully. Which one do you think is ah? That's ah. Pull it down, say ah. You're almost done. Look, you've already built ah. You have the beginning of the word mat. But what goes over here after ma? We need something over here.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, let's listen. Listen. You have mat. And we're going to build the word mat. Mat.
I hear a T.
I do too. What sound is it?
A T.
But what sound comes out of my mouth? Mat. What just came out?
I don't know.
Can you copy what I did? Mat. You said the letter name, but what sound is it when we see this? When we see this, we say, can you say, look at what you did. Did you know you could build a word? You said you didn't know how to read, but you just built your first word. Look, you built the word mat. Okay, let's check the sounds. M, a, t, mat. Now your turn. Let's do it together. M, a, t. Nice job. Okay, so I just want to play some.
So did you see how that simple activity taught a child, instead of separate phonological awareness over here, letter sounds over there, letter names over here, maybe much later, letter phoneme awareness, all of that in isolation. The activity put it together, helped him realize how the code works, at least the early stages. And he didn't even know the difference between M and A when he only had 2 choices. So that's where he was when he started. And so I did 3 days of build it, kind of like that, but just getting a little harder. And then on the 4th day, I did switch it. And now you're going to see a video of him in his 5th day of switch it. So this will be kind of probably like what most of your kids, if you're working in any elementary, even a kindergartner should be able by now, even one who's really, really struggling, should be able to start with switch it. I just wanted you to show you day 1 to day 5 to show you the possibility, because this is what we're all about. We're about the spring forward, right? We want to see, I think that's what helps me get some enthusiasm when I'm tired, is success. I think that's true of human nature and not just teachers. So let's now watch the little boy on his 5th day as he jumps ahead into switch it. And all I did was 5 days in a row of just like 8 minutes of either build it or switch it. It wasn't a lot of instruction, but you can see how far he goes. In fact, he learns 13 letter sounds in 1 week, and he can manipulate now, which is a lot harder than him being able to barely even segment on day 1. So this is day 5, little boy tackling switch it. He's still learning, but he's made a lot of growth. You have had, switch it to hid. Which one are we going to take away? You got it. Up over here. Get rid of the a. What sound goes there to make hid? Hit is 2 sounds. What's after ha?
Hit.
Ha. And then what? And hid. What's that sound right there after the ha? It. Which one is it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, did you know you could make hid?
Yeah.
Tell me the sounds. Point and tell me.
Hid.
And the word is
Hid.
hid. Now let's switch it to him. I know him. He's reading really well. Hid to him.
Mm?
Yeah, what sound do we have to take away? Yeah, we don't need the duh, but we need
Mm?
yeah, him. Check the sounds and point.
Mm.
Oh, ha,
Huh?
I.
Hmm.
Him. You made the word him. Okay. Now we're going to add a couple things to our board. Some new things. Let's make him turn into hill. We had to climb up a steep hill. You have him. Switch it to hill. What should we take away? Him to hill. We need an I. We don't need the That's right. Okay. Now what sound goes there to make hill? Oh. Which one of these do you think is oh? Oh. Two letters, but 1 sound. Oh. You made hill. Check to make sure you got it. Yeah, close. Let's go back. And then this is oh. Look at it. Oh. Okay. Now I want you to switch it to will. Will you switch hill to will?
I can.
You can?
L.
I think you can. You have hill. You need to switch it to will. Mm-hmm. What's that sound that's different?
L.
Well, we have an L over here. Look at as I point. You have hill. We need will.
Y and
Whoa. We need a whoa. Where are we going to put it? At the beginning. That's right. Whoa. Which one do you think is what? We haven't done this one before. That's right. Whoa. Good figuring. You made will. Check it.
and
I want you to separate these. What?
it is.
Oh, very nice. Okay. You have. So that was Switch It. Did you see progress in his ability? He knew more letter sounds. He could now segment 3-sound words with a lot less help from me. And then he can also manipulate, which is the harder level of phonemic awareness. And what are we doing? We're building and manipulating real words. It gets a lot closer to the end goal. The end goal of our phonics activities, our phonemic awareness activities, it should be to read and spell. So you see how we're putting a lot of things together, and we don't have to do all the things in isolation. I didn't hold up a card and tell him, this is before I did this activity. I just threw it on the board and tried to see what he could do. We didn't do things in isolation. So good question, Teresa. Is Switch It meant for one-on-one only? How many of you are doing it in whole group or small groups? I'm going to show you just 30 seconds of maybe a minute of a small group. These are first graders, just so you get a sense. These are my eyelashes. Do you guys have eyelashes? But we're just going to build the word lash. There, you got lashes. Can you say the word lash and then pull each sound down and say it? Oh. Very nice. Let me hear the sounds. And the word is? Bingo. Okay, let's switch lash to lush. When something is lush, it is full. Like a lush garden is a full garden with lots of flowers. So switch it from lash to lush. What sound is it? Very good. Okay, let's check the sounds. And the word is? Did you hear those sounds? Let me hear them. Nice. Okay. How about? That's a little snippet of how it works. I don't want to take too much of your time because I really want this to be brief. Except for today, which is a little bit more organizational. These are going to be really brief. Delivered to you mostly in email, short little videos, so you get the next step really easily. And so now I want to kind of give you more of the nitty gritty. You discovered, okay, this is what Switch It is. Maybe this is the power. That's how we can learn so quickly. So when you get your, sorry about that, mouse problems. Come on, shrink. Okay. There we go. When you get this, you'll see the Switch It list. And we're suggesting starting with at and I and going from map to mad to sad to sat to sit to pit. Okay. If you've never done Switch It before, you don't have those resources like we do, then you can go down here to page 6 and you'll get our letter sound cards. Notice how the digraphs, consonant digraphs, are on one page and the vowels are a different color. And then if you don't know how to give the feedback, because one of the key things is when the kids make a mistake, we prompt them and coach them through it so they rise up and they go to a higher level, and that's part of what enables them to spring forward. So if you don't have those kinds of resources about how to do the activity, the steps, or how to give the feedback, which I think is really gold, then you can go here to this Switch It page, and it's also hyperlinked like the Sort It page we talked about earlier, and you can get another goodie from us, which is how to do the feedback prompts. There's usually just a handful of things that kids do incorrectly, and so this will solve anybody's confusion. So you got that there, and also you'll be getting another video with a little more, just more examples like today, and also this replay. So hopefully within, with about within a day or two, you can switch it and start it with one kid or a small group. That's my recommendation. If you start with your whole group, it's really hard to be diagnostic and do a good job because there's so many moving pieces. Now, some of you are thinking, I don't really need to start my kids with short A and short I. So what I want to teach you is the last thing about Switch It. And this is so powerful. This is how we're going to, besides the fact that we're integrating multiple skills simultaneously, the other secret sauce of Switch It is kind of not that common in a lot of programs who do word chains, which is very similar to Switch It. And this is another of the secret, a bit of the secret sauce. Not just putting the pieces together, but let's be continually asking ourselves two diagnostic questions that enable us to move our kids ahead. Okay? So we asked two diagnostic questions. Number one, where is my student's ability in segmenting or manipulating words in terms of phonemic difficulty? If they can manipulate sat to sad to mad to mid, if they can do that without you, you should not be at that level. You want to find the sweet spot of challenge that doesn't freak them out, but and you're able to get them over the hump, but it's not so easy that they could do it without you. That's independent practice, right? So this is the progression. If you have kids that are at CVC, 3 sounds, consonant, vowel, consonant, and they can do that kind of separation, sat to mat, mat to map, map to sap, and sap to sip. If they can do that most of the time, then you're probably at an too easy a level. Maybe you need to go to CVCC, or even the slightly harder, this is a typo, I apologize, this would be CCVC, like stop. Or what if your kids can do segmentation at 4 sounds? Then go to 5 sounds, consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant, like stomp. Or even 6 sounds if they can do that, then go to sprint. So think right now, based on your experience with your student, where do you think they might be with just segmenting? You give them a word like stop. Can they say stop? If they can do that, then maybe you need to go up the ladder. So that's diagnostic question number 1. I don't need to start at CVC. Some of you do, especially if you have struggling kindergartners and maybe even of some struggling first graders. Then maybe I need to go to 4 sounds or 5 sounds. So what do you think? Where do you think your kids are? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, can I add another letter sound or more tomorrow? And that's what I did for that little boy. At the beginning, he had like 4 or 5 letter sounds. And then I added 13 across the week. I just kept putting more on the board and saying, oh yeah, did you see? I think I just introduced w for the first time and double L. Ooh. So ask yourself, think about your struggling reader. What phonemic difficulty level should I start at? And what's a collection of letter sounds that I can give him or her or them that are going to challenge them? Give them some things they know and then throw in another thing, especially another vowel or maybe another consonant digraph. Okay, yeah, Tanya likes this progression. Yeah, I think it's kind of confusing in a lot of programs, so thank you. It helped me to communicate it. And Tanya says the cues and progress are amazing. Really helped him understand the code. I found this worked with my youngest learners. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so now that brings us back then to the word lists, which I got to find. Here we go. So everybody's going to start with Switch It if you want to play the game. That's my suggestion. But this first list may be too easy. So then notice they just get progressively harder each week. So week 2, rather, I'm throwing in lots of short vowels by the end of the week. And week 3, we've already moved up to some consonant clusters like flint, flit, flat, flap, flops, glint. So, and then actually week 4, Here's some more challenging word lists. We take a break from Switch It just so you can learn Sort It on Monday and Tuesday. But on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can see some harder lists like munch and lunch and punch. So maybe you can go to one of those lists to match to your kids' phonemic difficulty and their letter sounds that they need. What is it that they need for instruction? And also if you go here, you'll see even more lists. This is a hyperlink to get you to sign up to get our other Switch It packet. So we're just giving out all the goodies today. So you're a smarty for being in this challenge because I'm kind of orchestrating you through the gist of the Reading Simplified system, and it starts with Switch It. Okay? I think I saw a question. I think I should probably answer one question, but maybe then I should call it a wrap. Yes, if you have a few students who are solo, we can't get through a level, that's fine. Go at the pace that they need. I like to push them to the hardest level that they can manage without getting frustrated. And look at the cues, the giving feedback cues to make sure you're optimizing that. And good, yeah, throw in the vocabulary. It's really important. But phonics is not divorced from vocabulary. It should all be meshed together. That's the whole concept of integrating everything simultaneously. Although when we don't have kids cracking the code and not able to access books, and sound-based decoding is our numero uno goal, but we can still fold in some other elements of language. Okay, so there was another question. Has everybody already gotten signed up? If you're just coming in, you're like, what's going on here? And you're kind of intrigued, make sure you sign up. There's a link that's been dropped in the chat. You can scroll back to it, or you can just go to readingsimplified.com and search for Spring Forward and you'll find it. And I want to answer one more question. Yes, I love this, Julie. Maybe it's not a question. You were just saying you've got a kid who's kind of leaning towards letter names and it's blocking her from accessing the code, so Switch It will really help with that. And then when we add Read It, that will help as well. So if you sign up for this Spring Forward event, you will get a few emails from me with a few little videos. Today is a little longer because I kind of had to get everybody introduced. Some of you have already signed up. Some of you may be signing up for the first time, but we want everyone to have the opportunity to get this information, to get that spring back in your step so that you see some success. It's the best thing in the world as a teacher when your kids are finally like getting it. And so head here to this blog post and get the goodies. And then keep looking out for our email. Make sure you type your email correctly. And then make sure you drag our email out of spam or Gmail promotions so you don't miss any goodies. And I'll be sending you some emails. I'll be keeping them short. But if you go here and sign up for the lesson plans, you'll get the things that I've been talking about. And then remember, there's also hyperlinks to see more stuff that will help you, and we'll just be adding in a little bit by bit so you can build up to a basic version of our core Reading Simplified lesson. Sabrina must be in Australia or New Zealand. She's all about to start the day, so she's ahead of almost all of us in the Northern Hemisphere here. That's so sweet. Thank you, Tanya. This was super helpful. I don't know why I'm not able to drop the link right now myself. All right, I want to end with Jennifer. She's very experienced in Switch It, and I think she would tell you, I've heard her say this before, that she was a frustrated first grade teacher, doing well, but not as great as she wanted, and Switch It made her like have this aha, like, oh, and this started to work with her struggling readers, and that's what got her to take interest in the full Reading Simplified system. And Jennifer says, I have some students very similar to yours, go as slow as they need and definitely celebrate every little success. Confidence can be a huge factor for these kids. They have to believe they can read, and then they will. I love that point about confidence. I think that's in the matching of their potential highest level of difficulty, instead of sometimes when we're so concerned about building confidence, we make the activity so easy that they don't make mistakes and then they don't learn. So I hope you could see that with the little video examples I showed today, and then also the ones that we'll send you. Usually I'm really trying to push a kid, but then I'm there to coach them through it. So it's not as if they get frustrated. And of course, you're going to have kids, maybe the perfectionists among us. They may get frustrated and you need to back down. And I've certainly done that. But more often than not, what I find with teachers who have been so concerned about their struggling readers is that they lower the bar. So I want to try to increase the bar, raise the bar. Thank you. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys for being here. Tag a friend or maybe share this to a friend so that they can get these goodies. In 21 days, you're going to know a ton more that will help push your students forward. And maybe I'll be able to answer some questions if you get stuck. And if you participate just by doing this challenge and just stating what you did on this blog post, the Spring Forward Challenge, you'll be automatically entered to get another sorted packet for the E sound. So this is been my privilege. Thanks for being here. Good luck, you guys, this week. I will be cheering you on, and I will see you soon in your inbox, okay?